Well, hello and welcome to the stream. Let's go ahead and see what we can get into. We're going to do a little bit of this art bill with Larry Wilson and End Times.
Welcome to Art Bell, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from September 20th, 1995. From the high desert in the great American Southwest. Hi, did you all good morning? Off much of the nation. Or good evening. It may be moving west. Actually coverage from the Tahitian and Hawaiian Islands. U.S. Virgin Islands and Caribbean, St. Thomas, specifically covering all the islands. And if you all are with us this morning, I would appreciate, as a matter of fact, I filled for a time. I'm going to be on this probably not, but I want to try it. The U.S. Virgin Islands, specifically St. Thomas. I've been absolutely decimated, as you know, by a hurricane. Now, I'm going to open my first-time caller line right now. Anybody in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So if you guys are back up, and it is yet, we'd like to get a call from you. We know some telephone communications was to be restored today, and I would like to get a report. I've got a lot of listeners out there, relatives in the Virgin Islands, and they like word, and I would like word. So if you're in the U.S. Virgin Islands, call us at area code 702-727-1222. If anybody out there hears this and is able to get out on the phones, which I kind of doubt, once again, it's area code 702-727-1222. We'd sure like to know how you all are doing. So that, when our affiliate is on the air, is our eastern limit, down into South America and north, we bleed fully to the North Pole. Now, we are going to have a guest this evening. He's going to be a very interesting guest. His name is Larry Wilson. And I guess I would like to begin by warning people that it's the kind of material we're going to... Larry believes that a couple of comets are going to be, within a few short years, plowing into Earth, to put it bluntly. If this kind of material disturbed you, this would probably be the right time for you to tune out. I won't mind. I don't want to disturb you. I don't want to scare you. And so I'm issuing this little warning right up front. Now, let me do this. Let me tell you, and I don't know why it is, when I do these kinds of programs, I get this kind of news. I hope I don't bring it on. There were two significant earthquakes today. One of them, quite significant, I think 5.8, located about 100 miles north of Los Angeles. Another significant, about 2 miles north of Ridgecrest. And a very serious amount of sudden earthquake activity going on. And it will relate in some degree to what we're going to talk about now. We have the worst hurricane season in all of history. If we have one more storm, it will time the all of the recorded history with regard to hurricanes. Now, you've heard Gordon Michael Scallion and the direction that he went you. And he worked on the program. But this morning, a different angle. There's a lot of people who are religiously oriented, tend to come after the Gordon Michael Scallions and say false prophet. This morning's guest faces a lot of questions on the Bible itself. I'll tell you more about Larry Wilson in just one moment. It's going to be a very interesting program, but it's going to take weeks throughout, and then we should go away to happy talk somewhere. Somewhere in time. So, let me tell you a little bit about Larry. And this comes from, I guess, his newsletter, or a newsletter. We'll find out. But his story. Since February of '94, I followed the phenomenon of near-Earth objects, NEOs, crashing into our planet. The reaction of the SP Directorate, I'm not sure what that is, around Detroit, and others has crossed the spectrum from sheer disbelief to almost absolute hysteria. I have tracked the mission of the Clementine satellite, which was tasked to map and photograph the moon's surface, and then conduct a flyby of an asteroid. Geographos, is it? Geographos, I guess, 1620, that satellite, or that rock, because it's a rock, which is 2 kilometers in diameter, is classified as a hollow-class asteroid that orbits the sun in the same manner as Earth. Needless to say, after successfully mapping the moon, on Saturday, 7 March 94, Clementine spun out of orbit, never did rendezvous with Geographos. Later, in April of '94, an asteroid estimated at 22 yards in diameter crossed between the halfway point of the moon and the Earth, which caused many space launchers from around the world to take a second look at this possible threat from the skies. In other words, we had a near miss. I later learned this chip of rock was made of iron. It was estimated that if this body would crash into the Earth, the energy released from the explosion would have equaled 3 times the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Now, I'm going to let them tell the rest of the story. Quite a bit of work on that, and an interesting time to bring on board Larry Wilson. And by the way, I've got a big announcement coming up at midnight. So, Larry, welcome to the program. Here you are. Well, thank you, Art, and good morning to all of your listeners. Where are you, by the way? I'm in Texas. Texas? Oh, we're in Texas. All right, good. This is pretty frightening stuff. What is it that you think is going to happen, Larry, and when is it going to happen, and what will it do? Well, Art, in a nutshell, I've come to the conclusion that there's an end to the world as we know it. The events that lead up to the end and the establishment of God's kingdom. There are a series of sequence of events described in the book of Revelation that I have come to understand. Let me go back a little ways and tell you that in 1988, I concluded that the Earth was going to be impacted by a binary pair of asteroid impacts. Larry, these are incredible statements, and I've been neglectful. I probably should have done it. I don't know that I've got a good strict bio on you. What was your background? Well, at that time, I was working for a large hospital in the Dayton, Ohio area. My specialty was in the area of health promotion and health improvement. And well, that's along with some Congress, right? So, how did you get? Well, I have been a serious Bible student my spare time, I've just been a curious investigator of the prophecy particularly. I know that a lot of people have examined the prophecies of Revelation and thrown up their hands in despair. But I like puzzles and I like mysteries, and so I just, hung in there. And one day the light sort of all came on and the picture seemed to come together. Have you written a book? Do you have a newsletter? How are you disseminating information other than perhaps through a program like this? Yes, I've written several books. One of them is titled Warning, Revelation is about to be fulfilled. And I also publish a monthly newsletter called Days Say that again. I publish a monthly newsletter called Days That's interesting. kind of ironic, isn't it? Well, I've had a lot of people on, Larry, of varying cuts. One of them, the one that has impressed me the most to date, was Lord Michael Skelly. Yes, I'm acquainted with some of his work, I can imagine. And what kills me is when I have people on like him or you now saying it seems to me virtually the same thing, but coming at it from a different perspective. Now, when you have Lord Michael Skelly on, the people who are religious will call him extremely angry, even though he's got an 87% accuracy rating or whatever. I've been tracking this for that. They call it angry, and they say even if he was as good as 99%, the Bible says he is a false prophet. And all who make predictions are false prophets. Well, I've been told that you're right. You too, huh? In 1988, when I began announcing my view that the Bible predicts two asteroid impacts, one specifically in an ocean and another on the landmass, the continent. People ridiculed me and told me that I was nuts. And I'm the only one that out there were admiring where do you find, and I don't like Bible scripture quoting, but I suppose it would be somewhat unavoidable, because I've got to ask you where in the Bible you find support for what you're saying. Okay? In Revelation chapter 8, there's a statement starting in verse 8. It talks about, or verse 9 actually, something like verse 8 here. It says the second angel sounded his trumpet, and something like a huge mountain, full of wood, was thrown into the sea. And in verse 10, the third angel sounded his trumpet, and a great star, blazing like a torch, fell from the sky. Fell into the earth. Right. And it affects the third of the river and the water. And the Bible goes on to say that as a result of the second impact, that the water becomes poison or contaminated, and many people drink the water and die. All right. You've got a timeline roughly, don't you? Yeah. On what basis do you do that? Is it not traditional that no man shall know the time? No man knows the day or the hour of Christ's return. That's a foregone conclusion. How does a man know about the trumpets that are being in the world? Well, Bible prophecy operates as a continuum. You have a beginning point and you have an ending point, and there's a methodical way to lay out each of these elements to see where you are in this continuum. And this prophetic continuum has been already in process for 25 centuries. So it's not like you just jump into the middle of reality one day and say, hey, here we young. In reality, the way it works is that you begin to examine what has happened, how it was laid out, the architecture of property, so that you can find your place in the great clock. And what does your great clock say with regard to these there is to be sure. But what I understand is that we're in a ramp up time from 1994 until around the turn of the century, 1998, perhaps the year 2000, the turn of the millennium, yes. Somewhere in this time period, I expect these events to occur. Now that doesn't mean that they will occur. That is just my anticipation. What sort of contribution to the ocean, which I believe you said would be the first, and what effects generally would you expect that to produce? Well, in 1989, the National Geographic presented a very, or an article on tidal extinction, about the dinosaurs being, eliminated from Earth by asteroids. I was surprised to find that studying modeling studies at the University of California, Berkeley, conformed exactly to what John has described in Revelation. It was a great asteroid, say a mile or two in diameter, were to impact the Pacific Ocean, traveling at 40,000 miles an hour. Wait a minute. Hold that thought. Yeah. We'll take a break here at the bottom of the hour. That's great. You mentioned the dinosaurs, and I'll just briefly tell you that there is now a dinosaur, as of NBC News last night, to replace T-Rex. And guess what his name is? Gigantosaurus. Gigantosaurus. They found the remains of what's called Gigantosaurus in Argentina. It is a 100-million-year-old animal. It was 40 feet long, weighed a total of 8 tons, according to Tom Brokaw. Had 8-inch teeth was the biggest flesh-eating dinosaur ever to walk on 2 legs. And I believe that Gigantosaurus, T-Rex, and all of their smaller brethren are thought to have disappeared as a result of exactly what we're talking about and will be talking about this morning. Comets slamming into the earth. In a moment, we'll find out what would happen from Larry Wilson if a comet, if and when a comet hits our ocean. We'll be right back. This is Premier Networks. That was Art Bell hosting Coast to Coast AM on this Somewhere in Time. the largest private Larry Wilson is my guest. Take a shot at it from the typical side. Let's tell us what's going to happen. We'll get down to somewhere in time with Art Bell of your network. All right, Larry Wilson, back on the air again. Larry, I know you've done a lot of scientific research, so that you know what you're saying is true. So go ahead and tell us, you set up the scenario that you believe is so close, okay? Art, let me do this to tell your listeners. If they'll get a pencil handy, I'll be glad to give a copy of a little book that describes all of this as a complimentary gift, free. If they'll just call the office, we have people standing by even right now, and we'll be glad to give a free copy of the little book. Warning: Revelation is about to be fulfilled, absolutely free, without any obligation whatsoever. I think you better be careful. I've got a copy of that book here. It's, let me see, it's 120 pages. Yeah. And it doesn't look like it's cheap. No. So, but Larry, I'm telling you, be careful. Careful what you say. Well, we'll be glad to do it for as long as supplies last. And all right. Now back to the story. All right. There is a 4-trumpet sequence. Let me give you the larger picture and then go through the details. The first trumpet of Revelation sound in Revelation 8, verse 7. And there is a meteoric firestorm of burning hail. So we have a cosmic catastrophe that causes global fires all over the world. And the Bible says a third of the trees and all the green grass was burned up. It's sort of like, if I understand it correctly, like our passing through the Leonid asteroid belt every November, December, and January. Apparently, there is a meteoric firestorm that starts fires that are just unquenchable. Meteors start fires. Yeah. Then secondly, this is followed by a great asteroid impact upon the sea. And if an asteroid a mile or even half a mile in diameter were to impact, let's say, the Pacific Ocean, it would create a tsunami that could be upwards of 3,000 feet high. 3,000 feet. 3,000. The tsunami would literally wash away cities along the coast of all the nations that rim the Pacific. And you could see that enormous, almost beyond calculation, the amount of devastation that would occur. There's no way you could know where it would fall, though, if it fall in the Atlantic. That's correct. And it would go over Florida, like Mexico. That'd be bad, too. The tidal wave, according to some research, would reach as far inland as Kansas City because of our relatively flat plain. Interestingly, the Bible says that a third of the ships of the sea were destroyed as a result of this impact. Then the third event is an asteroid impact that strikes a landmass and shears the tectonic structure, causing with the ground wave, it shears the septic system, the buried waste, and other leaching fields. Are broken up so that the great aquifer, the continent, are contaminated, and people drink the water and many perish as a result. This is not, I really don't like to believe what I understand.
And you believe this is in the near term, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Prior to 2000.
For the opportunity of being on your show to share what I've come to understand. But secondly, I appreciate very much that you have been diligent, I believe, in trying to get people to look at your picture and to consider the findings of science and others who are trying to say something about the events that are before us.
Well, I'm diligent pursuing information in this area, and I am disquieted by the sudden nature of what Michael Scott is, Larry Wilsom, and so many others. So many different directions related to the Bible that seem to conclude roughly the same thing. To me, that is very disquieting.
Yeah. In 1989, a fellow by the name of Henry Holt, out of the U.S. Geological Survey in Flagstaff,
Yes, sir.
he discovered what was later named Asteroid 1989 FC. It was a near miss of 6 hours. An asteroid.
Hours?
Yeah.
That is near.
It gives near Earth objects.
How long?
Well, there was some debate on the tiny side that some concluded that it could have been, 300 meters across the 1,000 feet island. But these things come out of the effect. And there are so many of them that it's impossible to track them all and to see them all, because in space, 1 mile of asteroid, 1 mile diameter is so tiny compared to the distances and the span involved, that it's just an incredibly, it's true that people in the haystack.
Well, because my recollection is, and maybe the answer wrong, but I've been on radio for years, and it was what years ago, I guess. We had a couple of near misses. The Associated Press reported on it. And the interesting thing was, they were very near misses, and they said, they reported this after the fact. In other words, we just had a very near miss. In both cases, it was reported the next day or the next week. Yeah. And it was obvious, if they knew it was coming in, it would be close. It was obvious they didn't. Or maybe not so obvious, or maybe they weren't sure. They saw it and weren't sure, and did not say it was a fear of panic.
Yeah. One of them has to look at the moon. And if you remember, the face of the moon, the whole way towards the Earth. The Earth, the universe makes on its axis in such a way that we always see the same side of the moon. And the side that we can see is obviously conformed with the sound of meteor craters. Now, that to me has always been disquieting. For the reason that we're looking at the side that's always short. So that would indicate that in many of these impacts, they've ended up hit Earth and hit the moon.
was unreasonable. In other words, it might not be true that the Earth experienced just as many moons in each time. But we had their atmosphere. We had hills and valleys and great canyons and things that areas that simply are not recognized any longer as possibilities.
Well, David Morrison calculated. David Morrison is the director of the Ames Research Center. He had other scientists calculate that somewhere on the order of 100 of the things in the atmosphere and data.
Very small.
Very small. And so we're constantly in this junkyard cosmic debris.
But generally,
Right. That was Vietnam back in the late 60s. I remember at night watching the shooting stars. I marveled back then at how many there actually were. There was no other light source.
Yes, I'm not going to go to the desert and we see them like that. There are many. Even in times of non-meteor showers, there are many. But they're small, and as long as they turn up their purpose, the ones we're talking about, or the ones you're talking about, are big and very harmful.
Yes. In fact, they're called civilization threatening. And I come at this on the basis that the Bible predicts these events are going to be right. Because God he really wants them 6 billion on the planet. And God everywhere.
We're probably in the middle of what is going to be, in all times, keeping records, the biggest hurricane season. We are in a time of a lot of earthquakes. Latest was LA yesterday, Southern California. Really shaking, 5.8. 7 point somewhere, not 7 point, I can't recall what it was now in Mexico. Recently, the Japanese quake. There's a lot of activity.
Did you see the one in New Zealand Monday?
What was that?
It was 6.7, I think.
All right, well, that just adds to the list. And is the weather change in your view and the Earth movement we're experiencing now some sort of message as well?
Absolutely. The Earth is waxing old, if you will. It bears a very incredible burden. Even the volcanic activity. I was surprised recently to learn that there is a volcano right out of Mexico City, and also Mount Vesuvius, I believe, in Italy, and a number of others that have seismologists extremely worried because of the building pressure. Seems to indicate that a major, like Mount Pinatubo, a major eruption is forthcoming.
The eruption of Vesuvius would, another scallion prophecy. Are you aware of that?
No?
I did the most recent interview I did with Michael Scallion was a very early interview. And he was almost consigning himself to his worry. And he was saying, watch Vesuvius very closely. If Vesuvius and Etna begin to get active, then the final phase of his prediction will begin.
Well, we haven't mentioned it yet, but the fourth trumpet of Revelation,
Yes.
I believe, is not only one, but the whole ring of fire of the Pacific Rim, I believe, will ignite. And
I'm laughing because this makes me nervous. Hearing this from you, hearing it from him, the Pacific Rim or the Ring of Fire, it's going to ignite. Are we feeling the prisoners of them?
I believe so. And the movement of the thing coming place. You were just mentioning the earthquake, whether it's in New Zealand, whether it's off the coast of Australia, or in Mexico, or in Iraq, the point is great landmass, or even ocean the reason I get to work is that people are not that I can be wrong. Of course, that's also repeating back to them. I interpreting I was like my own experience of it already. You would just know
Going in the same direction as Jordan Michael Stallion, starting in a different place, but the destination sounds an awful lot like what Mr. Stallion is predicting. We'll be right back. Back in time continues with our Bill. Coast to Coast AM. More in time.
Larry Wilson is a student of the Bible. Larry Wilson is a student of science. Based on the Bible, he believes two comets are about to plow into Earth. And I'll let you ask him questions in a moment.
Now, we take you back to the past on Art Bell Somewhere in Time.
Okay, just this one announcement that's on Larry. As you know, I have authored a book. I authored a book. It's called The Art of Talk. And here's the deal. You know, we had a pre-publication offer going for the first 1,000. Well, we've got the first 1,000 people, and I found that out earlier tonight. I agonized over this for a while, and here's what I'm going to do. I will guarantee only. Last night I didn't say it was over, and I really was supposed to come up here tonight and say it's over. But I figure if Cole and Powell can go out and do 3,000 a day, I can do more than 1,000. So here it is, last day, today. If you would like an autographed copy of my book, here's my offer. If you get it postmarked today, I said, today being the, today is the 21st, isn't it? Is it not the 21st? Is it the 20th? My log says it's the 20th. No, it's got to be the 21st. All right, so that's it. It's got to be, it's postmarked the 21st. Anything after the 21st with a postmark on it is out of luck. If you get it in the mail by the morning, I will guarantee you that I will get you an autographed copy. I just couldn't come on tonight and say that's the end, or that it ended yesterday. That seemed unfair. So I promised my publisher I would come on the air tonight and say, get it in the mail by the morning, postmark tomorrow, today. Get it postmarked today, and you'll get an autographed copy. Anybody after that doesn't know. So if you want an autographed copy, it's a hardback edition. It's special artwork done for it. It's got all kinds of photographs. It's my story, actually. Sad, happy, it's really something. So there it is, last day for autographed copies. Back now to Larry Wilson. Larry, you're back on the air.
Thank you. Listening to your book offer sounds very good. It reminds me of a story that happened. I was on a radio talk show, and this man had taken their phone number to call for the book.
Right.
And the lines were busy, and he had given up because there were so many calls.
I know.
Well, he called. He noticed the phone number about 3 days later, and he remembered the phone number to him was important, like the address,
Sure.
And he called up. He said to the office, he said, I wrote this phone number down, but I don't for the life of me remember why.
I have people calling me like that every week. Sometimes I'll wander in the middle of into my studio in the middle of the day, and a light line up, and I'll pick one up, and somebody will say, who is this? And I'll say, well, who are you trying to reach? And they'll say, I don't know. I wrote this number down. Right. They do it in the middle of the night and then they forget what it is. That's right. All right, look, we have a big audience just joined us in Los Angeles and San Francisco. So basically, you lead from the scientific point of view as well as the biblical point of view. That's right. That revelation has begun. Yeah. That the trumpets have sounded. They're about to and that two planetary comets, you said, are going to power the Earth. One in the ocean that will create a minimal 3,000 foot tidal wave. And the other end of the landmass, which will, whatever landmass it is, essentially split it, bring so much devastation to the continent that it in many places will be totally vacant of life. And you believe this is going to occur prior to the year 2000? In other words, I can't pinpoint time and location to a revelation that goes beyond what the Bible seems to indicate. But I believe that before we reach the seventh millennium, which occurred somewhere between 1998 and shortly thereafter, I don't know exactly where, but we are about to enter a new age. Well, what I told you earlier on, what I'll repeat now, just before we go to the I want to let people actually is that I have scallion, I've had various topics, people coming at this from all different directions, and people have suggested I get somebody like yourself. So I have, and you're all saying about the same thing, coming from different directions, but saying about the same thing, which is what I find rather unnerving. Let's see what the audience has to say. Larry, East of the Rockies, someplace or another, you're on the air with Larry Wilson. Yeah, I just had to go with nothing. Are you actually worried about this? Because you talked about the book earlier, and you shouldn't worry about it actually because there's nothing you can do about it. If it actually is difficult. Okay, yeah. You agree with that? Yeah. Okay, and then it talks about you have to be ready to God. Verse 40, you said you must be ready because the Son of Man will come in all of you expected. Yeah. And the truth is you can expect it. Yeah. So, that's what one place, like, if God says, not that those happen, you're pretty much thinking we should all be ready to. You know it. That's my first point. All right, answer it, Larry. You are saying, probably you know what it's saying. Well, I believe that there are a number of signs that indicate the return of Christ. Well, you know, well, the trumpet that we've been discussing, why not I said, well, the trumpet's begun blowing. You said, no, I said, oh, the trumpet has not yet begun to blow. Then, okay, then why asteroid impact and the meteor clouds on the volcano eruption that are predicted has not begun. Those events have not yet taken place. They are yet future in the near and oncoming future. Prior to the prophets, yet. The very near future. And what was, okay, so this caller's point was almost why were they being well, he has a point, and there is a certain amount let's keep rolling here. Western Rockies, you're on the air with Larry Wilson. Yes, hello. I just wanted to chime in on this whole deal about this seems to me like between the predictions of Scallion and Larry and everybody. I mean, how many times is the Earth going to be killed? You know, we have pollution, we have nuclear waste, there's ozone. You know, it's like getting in this one. If God is giving us the message that he don't think
It's a little bit, it's not powerful. It's coming for every angle. How many times, you got asteroids coming in, you got floods, you got earthquakes.
Well, I know, I'm prepared. I feel a little the same way, and I'm even unsettled by the fact that when I come on and I do this kind of program, inevitably, there's earthquakes to talk about, there's brightly pulsating comets to talk about, and there was a big earthquake north LA, the Mexican earthquake, the hurricane season that would see all others on record. I feel like there's a message, all right.
Well, obviously, there's two. One way or the other. That's what I decided.
So I think we're doing normal. I'm back what the other fellow said. In a way, if this is, I've got my ears out, psychic ears are up, and they feel something coming. I'm all I can't quite put a finger on it. I'm not a religious person, as you seem to be. I believe in a creator. Yeah, but I've just got a general sense of great unease. Yeah, the other shoe going to a shoe right now. So right.
You're almost, you keep looking at the TV daily to wonder if it has fault, be able to shoot it.
When they come down, and some days it feels like it's got its own way. I'm here with Larry Wilsom.
Hey,
Hi.
I'm David.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Number one, are you familiar with the term Yahweh?
Yes, I've heard it.
Okay, you know that was the name of the creator, right?
I know that's what the Jews call it, yeah.
That's just not to do with him. I'm a person that calls Yahweh, and I say that the God is giving it himself, and I'm thankful for the same thing that you of course, I'm my second question is, when I say that the book of Revelation, Revelation 13 to 23, there are two seeds, and I'd like to present it. The first seed, in my opinion, is the world government, which I think is the United Nations, and the second seed is this power in all of the world is the first seed. I think that the United States government, and I was curious what your opinion on that was.
I would say our government is somewhat beastly. You follow the UN, the World War
As a result,
this is an interesting point here, that
Revelation not only predicts these coming catastrophic physical events, it goes to the next level and explains the response of man to these events. And were it not in the Bible, it would be a fairy tale of enormous proportions. Because it sounds unreal.
it sounds unreal, that's right. So bring me back to the science part of it that supports what you believe to be coming. Bring me back to that.
Well,
Absolutely, don't mention the Bible for a few minutes. Yeah, the trumpets of Revelation, right? Bring me to the science.
well, scientists are aware, very painfully aware, I guess, is the best way to say it, that we are in a shooting gallery, that the Earth in its annual orbit around the sun is traveling through a cosmic junkyard.
Okay, right, it is. But we've been traveling through this cosmic junkyard until now, since the dinosaurs, without a species-ending event.
That's correct. Now, the discovery, in fact, you know that
So what I'm asking is, where is the science that would suggest that such an event is ahead in the short term?
well, the basis for the scientific is that in the order of the universe, there are events of certain magnitude on a time scale that is repetitive. For example, every 100 million years, some cataclysmic events occur.
that is civilization destroyed.
That's interesting, because Gigantosaurus, the one that we talked about yesterday, was exactly, they suggest, 100 million years ago, walking around on the planet.
Right. Well, science takes as its basis the chart of a map against the time axis, so that in calculating risk over a function of time, this is how you predict how many plane crashes there are going to be in a period of 3 years. This is how you predict how many automobile accidents there are going to be on Thanksgiving Day. Okay. So science follows this, looking for a pattern. And Clark Chapman and David Morrison and many, many other scientists have concluded that on the basis of what has been seen, that we are at the end, or near the end, of a pattern due for a major impact. And so they are devising and exploring, and there are conferences around the world examining how can man protect himself.
Well, now I'm going to drag you right back to the biblical. You make me do that, because you say the scientists are exploring ways to prevent what the Bible would suggest is inevitable. If it is inevitable, and if something is going to crash into our ocean and then a large landmass, destroying virtually most of the life on the planet. By the way, do you predict it to destroy all or most of, or what do you predict?
If I understand the scriptures correctly, I understand that about a fourth of the Earth's population will be
pretty good sized chunk. So the part that I'm not grasping is, if it is biblically, prophetically inevitable, then what's the point of the scientists trying to figure out how to stop it, divert it, blow it up, do whatever they can do to,
Well, I understand that the scientist does not behold the biblical perspective. He says, I see a coming problem.
That's true.
Therefore, I must do all I can.
Yeah, but from your perspective, you must think they're absolutely wasting their time. Or do you know?
I suspect that their effort will, concerning the two trumpets, let me put it that way, that their effort will be in vain.
All right, East of the Rockies, you're on the air with Larry Wilson.
Yes, Larry? Yes, sir. Yes, what do you came to see, Missouri? What I was wondering about was, when you're describing this star that was supposed to hit a comet, have you given any thought to the possibility of what it says in verse 11 of chapter 8 about it being called, what's probably called wormwood?
Yeah, wormwood.
Yeah.
Is that what it'll be called?
The word wormwood is taken from a reference in Jeremiah chapter 9, where in ancient times, and because of Israel's great apostasy, God gave Israel poisonous waters to drink called wormwood. And as a result of this impact of the blazing sun, the water becomes poisonous or bitter, and many people die drinking it. And the name is wormwood, in the same respect as it was in Jeremiah 9, I think verse 15. So the asteroid itself is not called wormwood, as we would label it. Rather, it's significant as the same as the poisonous water as in Jeremiah.
Larry, where we see it coming from?
I doubt it.
All right, we'll pick up on that in just a moment. We're at the bottom of the hour. If you have questions for Larry Wilson, we've got another half hour. This is your network. That with Art Bell is the Coast to Coast AM on this Somewhere in Time.
Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coastt AM from September 20th, 1995. I call it the quickening. Or Michael Sky calls it intuitiveness. Larry Wilson calls it chemical prophecy. Others just call it science. But all of these seem to be pointing in the same direction. In a moment, more of Larry Wilson. You are listening to Art Bell, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coastt AM from September 20th, 1995. All right, Larry Jones written book. He's done a lot of research into what he's talking about. It's called Morning Revelation is About to Be Fulfilled by Larry Wilson. And it's a pretty good book. It's fairly substantial. And he's offering to give it to you. I don't think he knows what he's in for, but he's offering to give it to you. And he's got a number, I guess all you do is call it, Larry, and ask for a copy of the book. That's right. And they call it right now? Yeah, that's right. All right. You don't know what you're in for.
Well, we're, the book is absolutely free. There's no obligation or any hidden string. We just make it free as a way of saying thanks for listening.
Here's the facts. Dear Art, personally, I believe the writing of the Bible is a warning. We can't let these doom fires, that's you, make us believe there is no hope. There's always hope. We have been getting warnings for a long time. Let's start doing something about it. Tony in Vancouver, Washington. When one listens to you and people like you speak, Larry, it seems there's an inevitability to what you're saying. And but then you sort of qualify it and say, but maybe it wouldn't happen.
Well, Art, you've only heard one film of the story. The whole story is a rather exciting and glorious and all-encompassing story. And it's about a rescue, a dramatic rescue, and the establishment of a world that will be perfect. It's bad news and good news, in that order, if you will.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. In that order, and the close-in prediction that you're making about, a big piece of rock slamming into Earth and the ocean and the order of the Earth, people dying.
Yeah,
that's bad news. That's pretty bad news, I think. I mean, in terms of scale of origin, that's very good.
And very sobering. I don't mean to trifle with it, but by the same token, if that's all there was to the story, you would have a sense of helplessness and hopelessness. But that's not all there is to the story. It is the dramatic part of the story. But here's something that I think that might help your listeners, and perhaps even as you are so instrumental in talking to so many people of varieties of backgrounds and differences in directions, but sort of heading in the same direction. This story, at least from the biblical perspective, is that God is not going to rescue the religious. He's going to rescue those who will live by faith and put their confidence in him. Now, the rescue may be from death, or it may be after you have experienced death in these cataclysmic events that are coming. But the Bible doesn't teach, as I see it, that God saves religious people. Rather, he saves people who will put faith in him as their creator and redeemer. Now that's that's an entirely different field than God saving the religious zealots. You know what I'm saying?
I do, and I don't know what I'm feeling. And what I'm going to do is the backbone. East of the Rockies, you're on the air with Larry Wilson. Hi.
Mr. Wilsom has stated that also in Revelation it states that the angel will throw the millstone into the sea, destroying Babylon. In 1996, we're going to send a rocket up to monitor a near-miss asteroid that's coming by, supposedly in 1998. The problem is it may hit, and I think Babylon is a euphemism for Sodom and Gomorrah, which is us, which is Hollywood and the West Coast.
Las Vegas, especially Las Vegas.
They will not be able to destroy it because I believe we'll be in World War III after Bob Dole becomes president, unfortunately.
Well, gee, you're just a bowl of cheer.
That's right.
All right. Thank you very much for the call. If there was anybody who could outdo you, Larry, maybe he just did.
I think so.
West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Larry Wilson. Hello.
Hi, I'm Dave from California.
Hi, Dave.
I just want to ask Larry, which cataclysmic event is going to do us in first?
Good question.
Here's an interesting thing. In Revelation 8, verse 5, there's a scene in which John writes that he saw an angel in heaven ministering at the altar of incense. And this angel cast down his censer. Now, bear in mind, this was before the trumpet began. Okay? That when this angel cast down his censer, there are four phenomena that will be observed around the world, all at the same time by all the people of the world.
All right, so which one is first? Let's see his question.
All right, there will be rumbling, thunder, flashes of lightning, and the global earthquake. The whole earth will tremble. Then the first trumpet will sound, which is the meteoric showers of burning hail. And secondly will be the asteroid impact on the sea, the asteroid or comet impact upon the land, and then the volcano ring of fire eruption. That's the order of events as I anticipate them to begin.
Sounds great.
Yes, I was going to point out that until 2 years ago, seismologists had argued that it was not possible to have a global earthquake.
Until 2 years ago?
Yes.
And who now argues it is possible?
A number of seismologists, after to their credit, they have reconsidered that the tectonic plates are not sitting on a solid mass, but rather a molten, crumbly type of mass in the heart of the earth. Do you remember the earthquake?
You know, again, you're beginning to sound like Scallion. Scallion's view is that there is a molten core, and that it is in the process now of shifting.
Yes.
And is that similar to
Yes. Well, this is what the seismologists have concluded as a result, and they have evidence of it now. The first earthquake in recorded history that has moved the entire hemisphere happened last year. It happened down in Colombia, South America. It was about 450 miles deep, and it was felt to Canada.
You know what? I recall.
Remember that?
I do, yes.
And
I have to confirm. Scientists were saying that it was one of the deepest earthquakes they had ever detected.
that's correct. And not ever dreaming, because there's no way to explore depth that deep in the earth. No practical ways yet known, anyway. That now they're convinced, as a result of this, that they have evidence sufficient to demonstrate a global earthquake. Incidentally, this is part of the package, if you will, that ignites the whole story of Revelation. And it begins with the global earthquake and the phenomena that I was just describing to your caller.
All right, let's keep moving. The time is short. East of the Rockies, you're on the air with Larry Wilson.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning. Hey, I was just wondering how this would fit in with Larry's philosophy here. I have a thing here that talks about the 7 tribulations that would occur during the final 7 weeks of time. And it begins with the Battle of Jerusalem and ends with the Battle of Armageddon. And in between, in some order, not necessarily, that's when there would be the tribulations of blistering heat, destruction of ships, the water being bitter, the sun and moon smitten,
All the things he's talked of.
and men seeking untimely death. Now, in this particular thing, it says that this would occur during the final 7 weeks of time. And from what I understand, generally, according to Scripture, a week would be 7 years. And so, I was just kind of thinking that the Battle of Jerusalem, it was, somewhere along the lines of the birth of the nation of Israel.
All right, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Minnesota.
Minnesota. All right. Any comments, sir?
Yeah, many Christians, anticipate what is called the Great Tribulation for a period of 7 years. And these events that we're describing here are woven into that tribulation. My view is contrasting just a little bit. The good news is I don't believe that the tribulation is 7 years, but rather 1,335 days, about 3 years and 8 months. And the tribulation commences, that is spoken of in the Scripture, with these cataclysmic events.
West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Larry Wilson.
Hi. I'm a Christian, been a Christian about 8 years, and I've studied prophecy. That's kind of a main focus, obviously, because of the quickening, as you say, Art. I think that anybody who says David is doing a lot of harm, doing a lot of harm to the Christian movement. And, I agree and I feel that we are in the last times, but I don't think you can be so matter-of-fact about it and say from the time Clinton became president, we're going to have 2 comets hit the ground. There's nowhere in the Bible that says within a certain date of time that those 2 comets are going to hit the earth. And if I can hang on the line and hear what he has to say, I'd like to comment back if I could.
Yeah, go ahead, Larry. How do you answer that? I mean, he wants to know how you concluded all of this based on what you studied in the Bible. There is no real time. How do you know if it's begun or it's not begun? I'm sorry.
Well, in Bible prophecy, there are, as I cite them, about 12 to 15 specific time periods. For example, in Revelation 13:5, there's a time period of 42 months. In Daniel, there's a time period of 70 weeks. In Revelation 20, there's a time period of 1,000 years. But my point is that all of the prophetic time periods together, they produce and reveal a large pattern. The same kind of pattern that scientists view. Not the same pattern, but the same type of pattern.
Caller, that is what's unnerved me. You know the way I feel about this quickening thing,
Yes.
which I don't necessarily relate to the Bible or anything else. But then I listen to Scallion, you study Edgar Casey, or you listen to Larry Wilson,
they all seem to be saying about the same thing, and that unnerves the hell out of me.
I agree, and I think what's eerie about it is that with Scallion and all these other people, there is no, how should I say it, there's no consequence to the decision and faith you put in it. If Scallion, if everybody's right, the only person that has a consequence to it is this man's belief and Christian's belief, because in that sense there's a heaven and a hell. If Scallion's right and we die and we just turn into some goo, who cares? But if the Bible...
Wait a minute. Scallion never said we die and turn into goo.
Well, no, you know, I know you didn't say that. But what I'm saying is that the Christians believe that there's a heaven and a hell and an eternity. Other beliefs say, well, if you're a good person, this and that. Christianity believes that if you've given your life to Christ and trusted in Him for your salvation, you'll survive.
But see, this is where, thank you, caller Larry, this is where I run into all kinds of trouble personally, right, with religion. Right. I don't think, in other words, there are good people and there are bad people. We talk about them on the air here all the time, right? And it is not my belief that if somebody didn't sprinkle water on your head, right, or you've not been born again, or whatever it is that people say you've got to do to be one of the lucky few that will get sucked up just before whatever happens, right? I think there are good people who will, if there is going to be the great suck up, will be on their way, even though they didn't go to church every Sunday. And so I really did want to bring you on the air this morning to put this perspective on, just kind of balance some of the other things I'm doing, and I'm finding that it doesn't. It's not balancing it; it's reinforcing it.
You know something, Art? I think you were more profound in what you said than perhaps you might realize, and that is God, who does the saving of humanity, ultimately in the end, is far more generous in what He considers good and bad than religious people are.
Well, I sometimes wondered what if the great moment comes and the only people up down here are the Christians? There's going to be a lot of well, anyway. First time caller line, you're on the air with Larry Wilson. Hello. Are you there? Well, yes, I'm here. Where are you?
I'm in Randall, Tennessee, California.
All right, go ahead.
I can't believe I got through. I've got a bunch of things I need to say real quick.
Do it real quick.
Okay, first of all, the Bible, we're very clear on a couple things that no man knows the time or the hour when Jesus Christ is going to return. Right? The Jehovah's Witnesses have been doing this for the last century, and every time they predicted they tripped themselves up to reset the date. Yeah. Second of all, concerning all of these things, when I listen to your show, I hear all of this end times predictions that not very many people say what is to be a response when we hear all of this. And I think what God is trying to get us as a people to do is to get down to our knees, get down to this living and prepare our houses for what's coming in the future. And the Bible also, he said you were having trouble with getting there. I can't believe I got through it. The Bible is very clear that all sin has fallen short of the grace of God. And
all right. This is beginning to, thank you very much for the call, sir. But we're really getting a little too close to actual preaching here, and I don't want to do that. And I've got to take off, Larry, but again, you've got a book. It's called Morning Revelation, is about to be fulfilled, and you're willing to give it to me.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, then.
That's right.
There's no charge. There's no strings.
That's right.
Nobody's going to come knocking.
No, we're not. I want to make a point that we're not affiliated or endorsed by any church. I'm such. In fact, I don't belong to a church. We're not recommending a church. We are simply lifting up the Bible as a consideration for the understanding of the times in which we live.
All right, well, I appreciate your being on with us, Larry. We're out of time. Good luck to your operators. They're going to be busy.
Well, it's been a privilege to be with you, Art, and best wishes to you.
Larry Wilson, take care. All right, everybody. It's on to the You know, that really wasn't strongly a couple of hours, but we'll be right back. The trip back in time continues with Art Bell, Coast to Coast. More somewhere in time comes on Art Bell somewhere in time. You still have not too much music about it. Anybody remember what this is? Good morning, everybody. I'm Art Bell, and this is Coast to Coast AM. Oh, now you know what that is. Anyway, I thought I'd make a great piece of Uncle music, and it does. All right, I've got a lot to talk to you about. What a strange night. Larry Wilson was very disconcerting for me, and I'm still trying to put my finger on it. It has something to do with religion. I know it does. And let me try, and then I've got some more information for you here. I struggle with religion, as many of you know, and I don't allow a lot of it on the radio. But I also don't disallow it. And I really thought that with all of the people that I've had on who are off on the edge, you know, I know that a lot of you think that Stallion and Oakland and the list really goes on for a while, are out on the edge. But I never came at it from a typical point of view. And I thought Larry would be an opportunity to do that. He was. And what's bothering me about the whole thing, I mean, there's a whole litany of things that bother me. And one of them is that religion seems to say this is inevitable. I don't know if I believe that. I think that science is a very powerful thing, and I believe that if something was coming at us, assuming that we got to know about it beforehand, and I think comets are a lot like bullets. I'm told that when you're hit with one thing, when I never have been, you get hit with a bullet and then you hear the sound. You never see it coming. You never hear it coming. You just, you have a hole in you, and then you hear the crack of the rifle. And that's very much, I suppose, the way it could get. So, Larry could be right. I don't know, the whole thing just disconcerted me in a very strange way. But I'm glad I did it. Does that resonate with you at all? I have here something that apparently is a great honor, and so let me read this, and we'll get into other things here. But this just came over my fax machine. It says, "Dear Art, you have been awarded Best Radio Talk Show in the Phoenix New Times newspaper. The Best of Phoenix issue is very respected This means Motor Valley residents that are, well, I won't say that. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is this is a great honor. Congratulations, my friend. You're the best in Phoenix, Arizona. The world, your friend, Rick. Last year, the award went to Buck Mohan, FYI. And he sent the article. And here it is. It says, Best Radio Talk Show. Greenland with Art Bell, Sundays 7 to 10, KFYI. Crystalline structures on the moon. Film footage of the dissection of a Martian. Bigfoot actually an alien. In these days of talk radio, taking the blame for various anti-government acts of terrorism, Greenland concerns itself with more celestial topics. Each Sunday evening offers listeners the opportunity to comment on the theories of experts, topics of alien abduction of Roswell and predictions for 84,000, as well as interviews with legendary abductees, including Arizona's very own Travis Walton. At the eye of this ideological hurricane is the calm, unskeptical master of ceremonies, host Art Bell, broadcasting from what he refers to as the Kingdom of Nye. Nye County, Nevada being the renegade county it is, whose commissioners transferred ownership of federal land to the county. Bell finds himself as the broadcaster closest to Area 51. It's true. The renowned alien crash site at Nellis Air Force Base, not necessarily true. And he had a sighting, of course, listening to Bell's measured, even tones. You know that to him, any theory is as plausible as the next. Add to the mix advertisements for shortwave radios. The companies that will help turn your cash savings to gold. And you have a radio show reaching out to the anti-government Second Amendment survivalist militia crowd as well. But Greenland is not to be typecast. As Bell intones at the end of each show, Greenland is a program dedicated to areas of human experience not easily put into a box. They can see at the edge of vision, yet it's really the air we breathe but can't see. That's the article. And so they awarded me the best radio talk show this radio show. Thank you. That is my honor, and the best of Phoenix 1995. Says thank you. Whether it is Greenland or this program that sometimes models itself after that in some senses, it is the very diversity that I seek, that I think accounts for the success, or I hope does. So that's a great honor, and thank you, Phoenix. Thank you. This fact is, Entertainment Tonight claims they are going to show additional footage of the Santilli film tomorrow, 9/22. The brief snippet of film they showed was with the panels with the six-finger impression of the end. I wonder if Fox is trying to sell off the footage they have that doesn't fit into their Roswell theory. Or is this an attempt to release credible information through less than credible sources or vice versa? In any event, I want people ought to know so they can roll a tape. She signs it Susie Loose in Santa Barbara. No way, I'm sure that's a real last name. Susie Loose. That like Susie Wong. So there you go. Entertainment Tonight with additional footage showing the purpose. Wow. Don't miss it, folks. I can't tell you how disconcerted I was by Larry. I don't know why. Then this. Just in, seismologists say, you should love this, that an earthquake that shook a wide area of Southern California Wednesday was stronger than previously thought. They say the quake's magnitude was at least 5.8, upgraded from 5.5. The quake struck at 4:27 p.m. Pacific Time Wednesday. There are reports of minor damage, no injuries. It's the second powerful quake in a month, centered about 10 miles north of Ridgecrest. A Caltech seismologist says a magnitude 5.4 quake centered in the same area on August 17th was actually a foreshock to Wednesday's quake. The quake was felt throughout Los Angeles and its suburbs, in San Bernardino, Orange, and as far east as Las Vegas. Do you get the feeling that I do, and I don't like it one little bit, that the other shoe, as I keep saying, is about to fall. And I cannot tell you how disconcerted I am this one. It'll pass, I hope. Somewhere in Time with Art Bell continues, courtesy of Premier Network. All right, there is, as always, a great deal of news to talk about. But I think that what I'm going to do for now is, rather than maybe I don't know, there's just so much going on. AT&T is breaking up in 3 different phone companies. Now, they're not divestiture already occurred. They're doing this voluntarily. We will have, as we know at AT&T, no change in your phone service. That'll be one. The second one will sell equipment. The third one will sell business computers out of the home market into business. They will end up laying off probably about 8,000 people who get replaced as a result of this. The market liked it. The shareholders love it. And me, I'm just the old phone company. You know what? I really miss the old phone. I miss phones like the one I've got right here. That one right here. You know what it is? I look on the back of it. You know what it says? Bell System property, not for sale. That telephone. I miss these telephones. And I'm supposed to go ahead and have this one. Probably going to be some good. But I mean, this is an example of the solidity of the phone company the way it once was, and I miss it. I miss the phone company. And now it's going to split up even more. OJ, it is possible we have seen the last witness in the OJ situation. That's all, folks. Well, not quite. Yesterday, a motion to suppress evidence based on the impeachment of Herman and Van Hatter denied. A motion to limit the length of closing arguments next week denied. Closing arguments begin Tuesday. That is going to be very interesting. That will be 1 year to the date after the beginning of the trial. Closing arguments will begin on the anniversary of the beginning of the trial. Frederick Whitehurst, the FBI guy who was going to testify if they could get him in, will not. Is information not considered relevant to this case? So that's about it. No limit on final arguments. The jury is beginning to get a little testy, I would say, and can you blame them? So that's it, folks. Other than the closing arguments. So, what kind of jury were you use? Colin Powell in Boston on his book signing, which, by the way, has gone right up to the top of the list. It is now the #1 bestseller, Colin Powell. He clearly is now leaning more toward being, I believe he's going to run as a Republican. He said yesterday, quote, the GOP is a big tent that can indeed handle moderate positions on gun control, abortion, and so on. The latest poll, commissioned I think by NBC, shows that if Powell were to run against Clinton, Powell would have 48%, Clinton 33%. In other words, Powell would beat Clinton. Baugh versus Powell for the nomination is a statistical tie. Now, I would like you to think a little bit about this. Powell would beat the hell out of Clinton. 48%, 33%. But now digest the following. 71% of the people say they know very little about Powell. Now, what does that say? What does that say? 71% of the people say they hardly know anything about him. And yet, by 48 to 33%, they're willing to replace Clinton with Powell. Now, what does that say about Clinton? What does that say about Powell? And what does that say about the electorate? I'm not sure any of it's good. Frankly, I'm not sure any of it's good. So, there you are. Powell made a statement the other day about, says politicians are demonizing immigrants. He is the son, as you know, of a Jamaican immigrant. Said Monday that he supports banning welfare and other government benefits for those who enter the country illegally, except when it comes to children. The UN, I mean, I've just got to get to it. It's too important not to get this stuff in. The UN has announced it is suspending the bombing of the Serbs indefinitely because they have, according to the UN, complied. They have moved 250 heavy weapons outside the exclusionary zone, lifting the siege of Sarajevo. The map of what used to be Yugoslavia has changed again. The Serbs have got about half the land. The Croat Muslims, Croats and Muslims have about half. There are now 90,000 Serb refugees on the move. There is no peace agreement. So, what have we done? Can anybody out there tell me what we have done? We have assisted the Bosnian Muslims and Croats to take back about 30% of the land they lost, making it roughly half and half. And we've done that. They have not stopped the war. They still want to kill each other. We're going to try to force them into a peace agreement, and if we are unfortunate enough, in my opinion, to achieve that, we will then send 18 to 25,000 Americans to enforce the peace and remain there, I think, for a very long time. And as soon as they leave, of course, the war will begin again, because we have not changed the hearts. All we've done is bomb them into submission. I did predict that we'd be able to do that. We have done that. So I guess I would just say, what next? We'll be right back to Art Bell, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coastt AM from September 20th, 1995. Network event, somewhere in time. Tonight featuring Coastt AM on the 20th of September, 1995. Maybe this does explain it. But here's the fact. I just terrible uneasy feeling today. Maybe I can help you understand why you are uneasy. I am too. I think it's because you believe that prophecy and science and just good old common sense observation seems to be conveying some very frightening predictions and events. Then you have to begin the process of sorting out what religion has to do with such prophecy. In other words, if the Christian prophets are right, what about all the other stuff they teach? Right. And here, let me set you a little more on edge. Listen to this from Gary. I just returned from Mammoth Mountain in the Sierra Nevada mountains, where I was doing some fly fishing. Now, near the base of the mountain, there are many spots where the Forest Service has closed campgrounds and hiking trails due to large amounts of carbon dioxide gas leaking out of the ground. The quantity of gas is so large that trees are dying and hikers may become asphyxiated. Is this ancient volcano ready to blow? The Rangers were very tight-lipped when I questioned them. Can any listeners out there help? Great show, Gary.